Was I going to look at one other thing? I was going to look at the Diablo. I heard they're being stubborn with Renown. Let's hear what they have to say.
Yeah, and people, I've had some comments on Twitter where people are like, well, D3 has this thing and D4 doesn't have this thing. And I'm like, well, D3 has been out there for 10 years, iterating.
No, Rod, you're not going to pull that shit on me. You think you're going to goof me around with that? We had debuffs in Diablo 3 on day one. I'm not asking for fucking Reaper of Souls on day one. I'm saying I want debuffs.
And improving, and like D4 has been out there for 10 days. And so like that doesn't mean it's not going to show up.
That's 10 days too late.
The iteration and evolution of these things aren't going to continue to improve. Like we're going to keep evolving the game, you know, as fast as we can.
Whenever they say evolving the game, what they mean by that is removing more elites from the dungeons. So like right now there's like 4. The next evolution will be 3.
As safely as we can through seasons and hotfixes and patches and expansions. So just because there's something not there today doesn't mean there's no intention to put it there in the future.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Next.
Mechanism in the game that allows. We have already a mechanism in the game that allows players to escape from boss fights that has very strict controls on it in terms of being a consumable item that's a fairly rare drop, which is called the Scroll of Escape. This is
actually a W decision that they did. Is they're changing it to where if you get disconnected, your Scroll of Escape that's in your inventory is automatically used. I'm actually so glad that they're doing that. I think it's going to be happening. It's in Season 2. You have to understand that in order to add a gem tab, okay, so there's a lot of people that work at Blizzard, right? And so in order to add a new tab for gems, it's going to be at least 6 months. It's got to be maybe Season 2. Maybe they might have to push it back to Season 3, right? Because it's Season 2 right now.
Hardcore only item. It's a consumable scroll. You can use it at any time and teleport to safety. You can bind it to your mouse wheel. It's important to bind it to the...
It's very important to bind it. I do recommend binding it so that you don't run into an issue where you might potentially use like an emote
instead of your. I mean, you go out with style. I mean, like
Yes.
you know, you're going out emoting while you're being killed.
So we have this.
Great. Yep, there it is. Rack said it won't be a paid tab. I don't think it's going to be a paid tab either, but you know, I just wish we had it now.
I think will be active. Only capital city waypoints I think will be active, much like it is now. So, but you'll see them. They'll just be gray. So, because there's so much renown you get for claiming one, we still want you to go claim that waypoint.
I thank you, Rod. This is exactly what I wanted in Seasons. To run around in the open world to mindlessly click on waypoints. Whenever I see the new season affixes and a new season content, what I really come back for the season for is to click on the same waypoints that I've already clicked on before. Thank you so much.
And then there's also the Altars of Lilith, which is basically, those will stay as well. You don't have to rediscover them every season.
Which is good.
And that's always been true, the notion around the benefits you get from a Altar of Lilith, like +2 intelligence or +2 dex, those stay with you forever, much like the renown system of the, you know, the extra potion charge or the extra obol capacity. Those stay.
Somebody compares it to PoE in chat. I don't think PoE is a good comparison. If I unlock all the waypoints in Act 3, my character does not do any more damage. I don't get an extra Atlas point. I don't get another level. I don't get an ascendancy point. I don't get shit.
Sort of these sort of rolling changes. And 9 times out of 10, no issues. Occasionally, based on just the scale, like we haven't worked at the scale before, and so sometimes when you're refreshing this number of servers with this number of players on it, we could hit a hiccup. And we've hit a couple, during launch that.
Yeah, and this title of this is Blizzard talks about my level 99 hardcore character. Yeah, somebody lost their guy. Biggest L of Diablo 4. That's what this is titled.
Can you just re-clear something you said earlier so we can keep all skill points, potion charges, max obols, and paragon points from renown for seasons?
Right. That's an important thing to clarify. So,
don't you fucking do it. Don't you fuck.
Renown.
Don't
things like
see. He knows. He knows they're not gonna like it. He knows. She knows. They know.
Paragon points at the end of the renown bar. You will start with some renown.
You have to. No, wait a second. Let's frame this a little bit differently. You will start with some renown. You see how he stopped himself.
You're not going to get those paragon points that require finishing the renown bar until you fill the renown bar.
Okay, well, so that's
Fill the renown bar again. Not fill the renown bar. Fill it again.
my fault because I misunderstood. So it wasn't that they didn't understand. I misexplained it. So
I actually want to watch the rest of this specifically.
Can you just re-clear something you said earlier so we can keep...
I misunderstood. So it wasn't that they didn't understand.
It's the Twitch player. This is why they need to take away the 70-30 split, is so they can afford to be able to have 1080p video.
I misexplained it. So currently, like in the Eternal Realm, if I on one character I complete the full renown bar, so I get my obols and I get my paragon points. If I roll an alt, I have those skill points, I have those potion charge, I have the obols, I have the paragon points, right now, being that are shared between my characters on my account.
Some elements of the paragon system are shared between characters. Things like the
How is this so hard to fucking explain? Like, I feel like, what is the chat saying about this? That's what you get. Yep, there we go. Oh, God, no. Oh, come on. Are you serious?
Altars of Lilith.
Massive
also give
L.
you stat points.
Right, but I'm just saying that that's how it works today in the Eternal Realm in terms of going between one character to another. The renown unlocks on the bottom level are account.
In seasons, you will the things that are at the end.
See, again, I love how whenever he's getting ready to say it in just like a flat out way, he realizes, oh fuck, that's gonna sound bad. Okay, I'm gonna reframe this in a way that doesn't sound quite as bad.
If the renown bar, you will still have to acquire renown to get.
Right, that's why I was just trying to clarify what it is.
Okay, all right. So that so we're still gonna have to. Okay, so now we've gotten down to the bottom of the situation. Okay.
Today for alts is different than what it will be in season reset, right? So today with alts, I clear it all on my account. I get it across all my characters. So you're saying when we do a season reset, and if you clear it all on a character, or like when you have a map that.
This reminds me of the scene in Wolf of Wall Street where Leonardo DiCaprio asks Jonah Hill if he actually is married to his cousin. And Jonah Hill's like, no, that's not really what it is. And he goes on to explain the actual situation, and he's basically explaining what a cousin is, but he doesn't want to really use the word, doesn't really want to say, like, because if anybody is going to be fucking my cousin, it might as well be me, right? Out of respect. It feels like they're walking around it on that level.
It's revealed in the Eternal Realm when I go into the season, the map will be clear.
Right.
I'll have the renown for that, but I
Like
won't
her
have
dad
like,
and my
potentially the
dad.
max
Okay,
80
so
nobles and the Paragon automatically unlocked because I haven't discovered enough. I haven't gone and hit all those waypoints that would fill that bar.
Right.
Yeah.
But you will have the renown for revealing the map, and you'll have the renown for collecting the Altars of Love, to the extent that you have done that.
Right,
Yeah,
and that'll trigger the other things like potion and skill points. And
Yes.
stuff.
I don't know why they are holding on to the idea that refarming Renown will be fun. I don't want to do the same side quests again. They're fucking annoying and they're a waste of time. I don't want to have to re-clear the same pointless dungeons for no reason. I don't mind having to re-clear them for the aspects because there's only a few of them that I'm going to realistically need, and those are tied to key character progression. However, I don't want to have to do the side quests again, and I don't want to have to clear out every single dungeon. I actually don't mind doing the strongholds again. I mean, I'll compromise a little bit. I don't mind it because I think strongholds are fun. And they also take 5 minutes. And there's only like 15 of them. Not like 15 side quests in one area. And you get loot from the strongholds. You know what I get from the side quests? Another box of herbs. Oh, just what I needed. 5 more gallow berry. 17 iron chunks. Oh, delicious.
And Mr. Joey P.
Two veiled
just
crystals.
saying, like, and yeah, you get the renown from the Fog of
Sorry,
War
who's
clear.
Joey P? Is that one of the community members?
Yeah, Joey P. but yeah,
That what they call
our
him?
own team as associate designer.
he mentions you get the renown from Fog of War clear and Altars of Discovery, which is what Joe had just mentioned. But then enough to get you through the first 2 tiers of renown in each zone. So that's
that was my fault. I thought it worked the way it works in the.
So we have to, okay, so then we have to farm 3 tiers of renown. More confused than before. That means it worked. I don't want to do side quests again. It could be way worse. That I must be coming from World of Warcraft. L dead game L. Massive L having to redo a huge grind. It's okay. L renown grind is no fun. I'm going to say, I actually think farming out renown is completely fine once. Because the side quests offer like a certain level of texture and context for the world. I don't mind them at all. I just mind having to do them more than once. I actually think incentivizing having to do them is a good thing. I'm a completionist, what can I say? So I'm okay with that. Once. Imagine every time in Lost Ark, whenever a new Legion commander came out, well, they came down from the demon world, Petrania, and whenever they landed, it fucking did like an earthquake or some shit, and it rearranged all the Mokoko seeds, so you gotta get them all over again. Yeah, there's 1,200 of them. Imagine that.
Eternal now it doesn't. It's basically we're just preloading you a bunch of renown that will then unlock the stuff for you. I get it. Yeah.
Got a pocket Joey P over there.
I know,
Pocket Joey P.
Pocket Joey P. Well, we well over the time estimate that I thought we were going to have. So I
Yeah,
apologize.
okay,
That was
that's
your
all,
fault for eating
folks.
into our lunch.
Facilitated.
But I do want to thank everyone for tuning in. This is our
Great. All right. Let's see what the next ones are.
So right. So if I could get, I'll make up a number. This is totally made up. 1,000 renown through Fog of War clearance. When I
Right.
start up season 1, my map will be clear like it is in the Eternal Realm, and I'll already have 1,000 renown.
Like, does it ever occur to them that maybe the fact that they're waffling and spending so much time that it's actually eating into their lunchtime trying to explain the complexities of this, does that ever occur that maybe that means it's not a good idea? Because you think about it, right? Here's where I'm at with Renown. Is that in Season 1, assuming the game has a really great hook for the first season, I'm going to play Season 1 pretty much for sure. I don't think I'm going to play another season if I have to farm Renown more than 2 times. And I'd only really be doing that because I'm a streamer. Like, I just wouldn't want to do it. Like, there are some times in Path of Exile, back before they did the revamp, that I imagined myself killing Drox 4 times, killing Baren 4 times, killing Alhesman 4 times, and Veritania 4 times, and then maybe killing Sirius after that. And I was like, guys, oh man. Ooh. we're just gonna. Oh man, I gotta. Yeah, we'll see what happens, right?
Right. Your renown screen
Right.
will still show, fog. There are this many areas of the map to be discovered.
Right.
It will just give you credit for the ones that you already discovered, and
Right.
that will translate into starting the season if you have been playing previously on a character with some amount of renown.
Right. Got it. And our intention, so those are the two major that you get credit for.
See, they don't know what's to come. Okay, where's a few more of these?
Anyway, but we know that the opaqueness of that effect is sometimes can be an explosion waiting for you underneath there.
Oh, he's talking probably about the Necromancer corpse explosion talent. This is true.
And you can die.
It is a bug, yes. That is one of the things we are fixing.
I'm just like judoed that question.
Yes, it totally did.
Great.
Them waiting to the side. So they will have a portal to them waiting to the side. So you were like, oh, I want to join your game. Oh, where are you? Oh, I'm somewhere over here. Just hit down on your D-pad. Then you're next to a portal that has their name on it. You click on it, and or press A, and then you're with them. And so it's been great at playing with parties where you just go like, hey, just press down on your D-pad, jump in the portal, and you're with us. And so I get that it's not like a direct, but it's like they will have.
I'm gonna be honest, so here's the thing, is Rod, my understanding is he plays a Necromancer and he plays with a controller. And we talked about this on the podcast today. Bro, you've gotta have him play. Cause on controller, straight up, controller, it's not just FPSs now. Controller auto aims for the fucking corpses. So Necromancers on a controller don't have to target corpses. It just automatically pops the nearest corpse. So he doesn't even fucking know why it's annoying. Busted? Yeah, I didn't even know that. I had no idea. I learned that today on the podcast. Controller advantage. Yeah, that's ridiculous. There should be a setting for you to just whenever you cast Corpse Explosion, it automatically targets a corpse with the same logic that the controllers automatically target corpses. It's silly. Sometimes it'll smartly bust corpses besides enemies. How the fuck did they manage to add auto aim with controllers into Diablo 4? I just got done, I played Warzone, I played Apex, I watched Nick stream, fucking Tim stream, Doc stream, all of them talking about this. It's finally we can get away from this. We're playing an ARPG and they have this shit.
So, sometimes people will say well, can't you, anytime something is too strong, can't you just buff everyone else?
Right.
And while in theory you can do.
That's a stupid idea. I completely disagree with viewers and players that think that's smart. That's how you get quadrillion crits in Diablo 4 or Diablo 3. I do not want to see everything. Don't just keep buffing everything. I don't want to get into these infinite scaling numbers where it's just ridiculous. It's power creep. Yes, please
when you
stop.
have many classes and many builds, and you have one thing that is too strong, the process of buffing everything else, is likely to result in more balanced issues because you're changing many things.
B, more importantly, it's more work for us, so we're just going to nerf the one.
Things at once. And B, you can very quickly run into a place where you have 65,000% on Whirlwind or something.
Right.
And
what's so funny about that? You guys literally did that. What are you laughing about? What's so funny? Only 65,000%? Yeah, what's so funny about that, huh? I don't get it. Where's the next one?
Chat and so forth from. We do want to take some questions from chat and so forth from Twitch chat. I will do my best to actually announce names. I will announce the names so people know that they can go back into chat and see the name.
Oh, God. Does this mean that they watched my video about that one fucking YouTube channel that made up the fake questions?
and not go like, oh my gosh,
You made up those
you made up
names.
these
Those
names
aren't
and
real
so
names.
forth. And I will note that was not our interview. So that like we did not come up with that question.
Pretty good.
All right, that's good to know. What's this?
We'll have the hardcore race going on. We actually posted an update on social media yesterday about how many people were up there.
Still like
700. As of yesterday, it was still like 700 slots for people to make it.
I could probably level a 100 hardcore character. I was thinking about making a Thorns Barbarian that is disconnect proof to try to get level 100 in hardcore. And like only farming super easy content.
On the statue.
We're actually digging the hole for the statue on campus. So they're pouring the cement thing to the statue can go on top of.
No spells? Yeah, no spells.
So like
Ron's always giving spoilers.
There's no DC
what,
proof.
that we're
There
putting
won't
the
need to
statue
be.
on campus? How's that a spoiler?
It's just like it's blocked off. No one can like see it. Even internal people can't see it. You know.
I'm just saying it's kind of cool. I've never had that before in a game where your name, like as the development team is walking to lunch, they can see your name on the statue.
What if somebody's like BattleNet name is like Dick Eater 69? But it's like DIQ, so like it doesn't actually get caught. Like
I think it's kind of cool, and that reminds us of our community and our fans out there who are playing the game, and so
Quinn 69,
like,
yeah.
Oh my God, first time! Like I get the first thing, but we made it 1,000 for a reason. We wanted people to be able to enjoy the story and play the game at their
Asmᴏngᴏ.
pace.
Just fucking some stupid fucking name. Free Hong Kong. Fucking make an entirely new account. Call it fucking Battletag Free Hong Kong. And get it to like 1,000, the top 1,000, just for it to be on the statue.
You'll have the renown for revealing the map, and you'll have the renown for
Richard
collecting
Eater,
elves below,
yeah.
to the extent that you have done that.
Right,
Yeah,
and that'll trigger the other things like potion and.
We saw
Yes.
this.
From Nightmare Dungeons.
So they're buffing Nightmare Dungeons experience. This is obviously a good thing. This is a Blizzard W. I think that with Diablo 4, they've had a few L's. However, I think the majority of the changes they have made have been W's. This is coming in Season 17 for more experience in Nightmare Dungeons.
The amount of XP that you get from Nightmare Dungeons. Our goal with this is to make Nightmare Dungeons more efficient to do than side dungeons.
Right.
Because they're designed to be more.
And that's what
Does
the
that
way it
take
should
into
be.
account, like Nightmare Dungeons have essentially a travel time to get to them?
Right. So this is a great point. So in order
Yeah.
to,
They're also
when you
getting
think
rid of
about
that.
efficiency, if you think about XP per hour or XP per minute,
That's what
and
they
we
do.
actually have telemetry on this, so we can see what it looks like. You can't just look at the XP that you're getting from the Nightmare Dungeon, because you have to spend some of the time traveling to
That's
that Nightmare
right.
Dungeon. In
That's
fact,
absolutely.
Nightmare Dungeons are a variety of distances away from the nearest waypoint
Right.
or teleport. So it's actually varies depending on which Nightmare Dungeon you're going to.
Right.
And so that can also have the effect, if you're thinking about the efficiency
We're going to listen to this part.
aspect of it, of XP per hour, or increase the amount of XP that you get from Nightmare Dungeons, be more replayable. And,
Does that take into
hour or that you're getting from the Nightmare Dungeon, because you have to spend some of the time traveling to that Nightmare Dungeon. And in fact, Nightmare Dungeons are a variety of distances away. Justify choosing a Nightmare Dungeon that's far from a teleport point.
Sure.
So the second thing that we're going to do here is we're going to modify the way that sigils work so that they teleport you to Nightmare Dungeons on use.
so they
I'm actually surprised they're doing this. So yes, you can use a sigil and it will automatically put you in the dungeon. That's huge. Yeah, I actually am kind of worried that it will mean that not enough people will be out in the open world and they'll sit in town all the time. Maybe that's not a problem, and maybe it's better that people are able to do things rather than just I think that they're making the right decision, but I would have been okay if they didn't make this decision. Because like at a certain point, that's like the tail wagging the dog. where like now the open world is taking such a center stage that it is reducing the efficiency of being able to play the game the way that you want. So I can understand the argument for allowing people to teleport. I think it's better. But I was surprised they would do this. Big W moment because of the DCs, yeah.
They teleport you, or do they create a place to a waypoint?
There's still world bosses. You're right.
They will
You're
create
very right.
a waypoint
True,
that
true,
allows
true.
you to teleport. But yes, you'll be able to teleport too. That's an important distinction.
Right.
But the effect is that you'll be able to teleport to your nightmare dungeons, and you'll be able to loop from the end of a nightmare dungeon into your next nightmare dungeon if you want to loop them again. You
Yeah,
have to
that's
leave
crazy
the
good.
Nightmare dungeon using
That's
that
awesome.
interface. But you'll be able to go from nightmare dungeon to nightmare dungeon without traveling between them.
Right.
And that
Yep.
allows us to have the XP, calculate the XP buff to make sure that those are the most efficient to do, because we're removing the travel time aspect of it.
Okay, so we're improving the rewards from Nightmare Dungeons to make them more what the intention was. That's the place you farm.
Right.
We're removing the
This is very good. That Nightmare Dungeons are the hardest content, and the hardest content should give the best experience.
need to have a travel time because a waypoint will appear and you and your party can go there.
Yeah,
So
Blizzard's actually listening. This is
like
good.
The waypoint one in particular sounds like a reasonably large change. So from a player perspective,
It's
what
very
should
big.
expectations be about, hey, that sounds awesome, or at least for me, I'm responding, that sounds awesome. I don't know if they agree yet,
Yeah.
but I think that sounds awesome. So what kind of timing, what range of timing are you thinking?
Launches with
It
PoE
is,
maps? Yeah.
It is, you know,
Is Ron like the boomer translator or something? Ron understands this, obviously, but he's asking him the question just for the audience, right? Like, it might seem like he doesn't know what he's talking about. He obviously gets it, but, like, he does that just for people to understand it.
Tiffany was just talking about like the kinds of things that we can do very quickly and easily.
This isn't supposed to be one of
It's
them.
a little, but this is something that's really important to many of our most dedicated players. And so we're working very hard on
Yeah.
this right now, actually, and yesterday as well, to get it in before Season 1 launches.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So this is real quick.
Yeah, so I know
That's great.
Tiffany and the live ops team I know have been working really tough on are working a lot to make sure that we can get specific updates before Season 1 and scheduling those out and everything. So yeah, the Nightmare Dungeon changes that Joe was just talking about. The goal is to have that out before Season 1 so players can actually experience it and use sigils to really teleport to Nightmare Dungeons and use that as a way of kind of incentivizing. And with Nightmare Dungeons XP being buffed, and it should be a new the way that players end up needing to want to kind of grind or farm specific things. They have the Nightmare Dungeon options.
So, and then for people who are maybe not following along all the time, right now Season 1, we're saying mid to late July.
Mid to late July.
So we're saying that this change could happen anytime between, in the next, 4 weeks or whatever.
It seems like it's going to
that's
be
what
really
we're
soon.
focused on. But again, I think
Yeah, I think this is great. I'm very happy about this. We'll give you something you didn't ask for and trade you what you actually wanted. People did ask for this.
the waypoint teleportation, we have to get that right. Like there's a lot that goes on there. So there's a bunch of QA we have to do to make sure we don't mess with parties and everything else, right? So we want to go as quickly as possible, but we also have to go as safely as possible. The last thing we want to do is rush something. So I use the phrase, don't shake the jello, which is a notion of like your jello mold is trying to set, and if you keep poking it, it won't ever stabilize, it won't ever set. And that's kind of the thing we worry about here is that with all that, what are we at? Hotfix 9 we've put out so far?
We're actually at 11.
We are at 11.
I missed one. And with also our client patches, like we're constantly sort of poking. And if you do that without proper QA and proper testing to make sure you're not shaking something out of alignment, because I think we've had that where we've maybe rushed a patch and then that caused something else to slightly not go the way we want.
Yeah.
So that's something we want to be as responsive as possible, but we also want to be as safe as possible and make sure we're not causing other issues.
Yeah, I mean,
shout out to Hotfix 11 for fixing some of the things that we
may have broken the previous one.
The teleport should take you to the dungeon and not under the world or in front of Lilith.
Major.
I'm sure they'll probably fuck it up a little bit, but I'm very glad about this. This is great.
Shout out to our QA team because we have put out, I think as you just said, 11 hotfixes and I want to say 8 or 9 client patches. So definite kudos to them.
Yes.
Speaking of Season 1, I am looking forward to it. I'm a Necro player as well, I believe Rod is, so you know, definitely looking through that chonky patch to make sure that my class gets buffed, as Joe said. But you know, I've been collecting renown.
You just promised. Do you realize what you just did?
Yes.
This is why I need to
Yeah, it's gonna make people mad.
That's necro buffs.
Well, now Joe has to do it
I
because
know.
I said
Is that how it works?
Yes, it is how it works.
Okay, great.
I didn't tell him that, but now he knows. I'm looking forward to Season 1. I am curious because I think a lot of the community is curious, you know, will I have to recollect all those altars of Lilith? Do I get to carry over those primary stat bonuses that I'm earning? What about my map? Don't really want to have to rediscover it. So, Rod, what's Season 1 going to look like?
Yeah, let's laugh at them because they have to fucking do the side quests again. Haha, it's so fucking funny. Oh, it's great, isn't it? Haha. That's a good one. Fuck.
Of Season 1.
Yes.
Speaking of Season 1,
Yeah.
I am looking forward to it. I'm a Necro player as
Oh, we already saw that one. Okay. That's just bullshit.
And this one I think is just a clarification from people. This is from Nexian. It says, can you just reclear something you said earlier so we can keep all skill points, potion
Big
charges,
L, no
max
season.
Obels, and Paragon points from Renown for seasons?
Right. That's an important thing to clarify. So, the renown, so things like Paragon points at the end of the renown bar.
I love hearing him explain it. I really do. It is my favorite fucking thing. Hearing him explain it. So these are some of the other things that weren't in the clips that we saw. Let's go ahead and go through them real quick, okay? Give me a second. Okay. Druids will have their loot table fixed to see more unique drops that are intended for their class. There's a number of people who have gotten to like level 80. They don't have the uniques they want. I actually just got Gore's Gauntlets today. Stop complaining about fucking Renown. It takes a couple of hours, and it's not the biggest problem this game has. Well, if it only takes a couple of hours, then why do we have to do it? Like, I don't think that you understand that like that argument can just be reversed in the opposite direction. If it's so meaningless that nobody should be complaining about it, then why is it so meaningless that it can't change? Doesn't make sense. World Boss caches level 80 to open. This will be changed as part of the upcoming patch. That's nice. I have like five of these, but I'll probably be level 80 by then. It's not a big deal. Team acknowledges there have been issues with characters dying due to being invulnerable. Issues are being investigated. Should be resolved soon. With characters dying when they should be invulnerable. Looks like somebody's watching Quinn. Character has scroll of escape in inventory. When there's a disconnect, the game will consume the scroll and safely teleport the player to town. This change is planned for Season 2. I want to just go ahead and say again who was right. Who was it that was right? It was me. I was right. I was right again. And this is going to be happening in Season 2. You always right, bro? I know. Resistances are getting buffed because they're fucking garbage. Resistances are weaker compared to other damage mitigation stats. Yeah, because they're fucking garbage. Starting in Season 2, gems will be included in the Materials tab. This is very good. Everybody likes this. Materials tab limit will be increased. This is happening very soon. Renown. They need to fix this. Nightmare Dungeons will reward more experience. Good. Nightmare Dungeons can fast travel you to the dungeon. Good. Nightmare Dungeons can be used immediately after the last Nightmare Dungeon. Good. These changes are planned for before the release of Season 1. Even more big good. Very good. The best. While players are spamming normal dungeons to level quickly, the team has continued to nerf these dungeons in order to lead players to intended in-game content, such as Nightmare Dungeons. They should have buffed Nightmare Dungeons and not nerfed these dungeons. While these dungeon nerfs were intended to make normal dungeons more equal, the developers have ensured that buffs are coming. Okay, that's great. Diablo 4 has suppressed 35 million hours played. That is fucking nuts. Horde's client patch is planned. The vast majority of Diablo 4 players have not yet completed the campaign. Holy fuck, really? Bro, the dads are too strong. There's just too many of them, man. There's too many fucking dads. God damn. So that's what happened today in Diablo 4. Obviously, I feel like this is an overall W. Like, yes, Blizzard did not give the answer we wanted from Renown, but they are moving towards the answer that we want. And I think with everything else, they have given us unequivocally what we've wanted. This is a good thing. I'm really happy about this. This is a W for real, on God, no cap, on a stack. This is a great live blog, and I should have actually gotten up at 12 o'clock instead of 3:30 in the afternoon to live stream it myself. So there it is.